Hello, ladies and gentlemen, to round nine of season three. We saw Lewis Hamilton retake championship lead last race as Nico Hulkenberg became the first driver to win multiple races. Let's dive into qualifying for the French Grand Prix. It's a new track for this fantasy championship. It is at Magny-Cours, so it should be quite a fun one. Giovinazzi will be the first one to leave the pit lane. I can imagine that corner Giovinazzi went through there is going to be a prime overtaking spot in the race. As I don't know the corner names on this track. I think that's the hairpin of turn 3. And this hairpin here, it seems, even though from the onboard view I got there, it was quite fast. Look at Piastri taking it. I mean, medium speed, slow speed, yeah. Now I guess the question of Antonio Giovinazzi and Oscar Piastri, the first who started flying up, is will they hit any traffic? We're actually going to look at Giovinazzi goes past a Braun GP there, so does Piastri starts flying up. Look at turn 1, it's flat out. Turn 2, also very fast. Might involve a little bit of a lift for turn 2, it's a very long hairpin. I think it is Alex Dunn they're laughing, getting past there. We head on to turn 3 hairpin. It's a hard braking zone. Don't really know where it comes at you. It's kind of, where do you brake? 100 meters? No, brake very later than that. Pierre Gasly goes fastest in sector 1. Through the final 2 corners, where does Antonio Giovinazzi lap time be? It's a 1 minute 17. Could Piastri beat the 1 minute 17.9? No, he's 4 tenths off. That's mental. As Kim Antonelli, he's 5 tenths off. As we head to now, Joshua Pierce, not Solid Hayes, sorry, who puts that car 1.8 seconds off. But Lewis Hamilton, he's quite an important one to watch potentially. Maybe actually Carlos Sainz. I can't see who I'm looking for here. Hadjar, but Hamilton's the one I'm going to settle on watching until he crosses the line and we'll head to Verstappen, who's just on his lap, so not going to head to Verstappen. But what Hamilton do? Can he beat Giovinazzi's lap time? Gasly is, yes, he can. Only not by much though. It seems very close there. Charles Leclerc, another Ferrari, he crosses the line. Only P10. Russell starts his flying lap. Alonso, he's going to be one to maybe see where he put that Aston, P11, a second off the pace. Joshua Pierce and Lando Norris. Joshua Pierce will be P14. Lando Norris starts his flying lap. I thought he was already on it. Nico Hulkenberg, Leo, Alex Dunn got a neat slipstream there off George Russell as he heads now through the final chicane across the line. Alex Dunn puts the car. Perez is once again 1 point. What is Cadillac look very fast? Is this a second pole position for Sergio Perez? Unexpected, but he looks like he's doing it as we look at. I'm trying to go for Nico Hulkenberg here. Nico Hulkenberg, can he potentially beat Perez's lap time? No, he cannot. What about Vettel? Borletto finishes his lap only in P10. Vettel P16. Verstappen and Russell. Russell goes P20. Verstappen only P19. Lando Norris for the final chicane behind Lance Stroll. He might be held up here. Lando Norris starts last race. He's in P13 here. Perez is 1.1 seconds ahead of Hamilton. Where has he found this pace all of a sudden? Giovinazzi, we held up a little bit. Turn 1 potentially as he starts his second and probably final flying lap. As he now gets potentially good exit onto this long. You should call it back straight. I guess you kind of have to, wouldn't you? Potentially some slipstream into this corner here off. I think it was Max Verstappen, or no, I think it was Isaac Hadjar actually. Antonio Giovinazzi 1.121 seconds off pole position. Can he take it? No, I don't think he can. No, he's not even improved. Kim Antonelli is the next one to watch as he is quite a way away from the start finish straight. And all the guys in the pit lane will not get another lap in. So Russell, Verstappen, Stroll, Hadjar, not Hadjar. Well, everybody the check flag next to the name is not getting another lap in. Antonelli next across the line. Can he improve? No, he does not. Lewis Hamilton? No, he does not. I think we've got a pole position here for Sergio Perez. What about his teammate Valtteri Bottas? His teammate goes P5. That's great for him. Oscar Piastri is the next one to cross the line. He stays P7. Trying to look who's next for you guys. I'm gonna go to. I can't see anybody on this. It's too difficult to use this. Yeah, we're gonna stay on Pierre Gasly. Can he improve and take pole position off Sergio Perez? No, he can't. It's now up to Sergio Perez to improve his lap time to stay ahead of Hadjar and Behrman. Hadjar, he's going to go through the final chicane now. 2.2 seconds he's improved by. He's not doing that. So he's going to probably stay P18. Yes, he does. Only Behrman, can he dislodge Sergio Perez from pole? He goes P5, but it is Sergio Perez for the second race in a row. Sergio Perez is on pole. That was a massive shock. Pierre Gasly in P2. Lewis Hamilton lands on P3. Fourth, Antonio Giovinazzi. Only Behrman in P5. Valtteri Bottas another Cadillac P6. Cadillac on a roll here now. Alex Albon and Oscar Piastri. Esteban Ocon and the Gabriel Bortoleto round up top 10. Kimi Antonelli. Fernando Alonso, Carlos Sainz. Lando Norris and Nico Hulkenberg, the winner of last weekend. Charles Leclerc is pointing for him, P16. Sebastian Vettel is pointing for him, P17. Hadjar, 18th. Lance Stroll, 19th. Alex Stone, where's he gone? He's down P21. 21, Max Verstappen, 22nd. It's only Hayes. George Russell and Joshua Pierce are the back row of the grids. There's wet tyre conditions out there, innit? Here we are, 5 red lights though. This could be a fun one. It is pouring down the rain in Magny-Cours. It's lights down, away they go. Sergio Perez does get an absolutely massive launch at the start. He leads from Pierre Gasly, but Gasly is close to him as we go for turn 2. It looks like a single file through turn 2 for whatever reason. As we look at Giovinazzi, he's been jumped by Behrman. Behrman is on the inside of Hamilton. Behrman is ahead of Hamilton. Down into the hairpin potentially. Hamilton, is he going to do the comeback on the straight? I think he might do. Perez and Gasly still in single file. Gasly on the inside out of nowhere into the hairpin. Gasly leads the race. Hamilton's big accident in the background there. Hamilton and Bottas are off the track. Safety car deployed. Hamilton, Piastri's out of this race. Bottas has got a 5-second penalty. Is Hamilton also out of this race potentially? He is stopped on track. Now he gets going again. But we see him down P23 as Oscar Piastri is out for I think it's the second time in a row. But Pierre Gasly does lead the Grand Prix from Perez. Ollie Behrman finished third last race. He's currently running in third this race. Giovinazzi in fourth. Albon fifth. Sixth, Ocon. Seventh, Harry Bottas. He's having damage. He has got a 5-second penalty though, no damage. Eighth, Alonso. Ninth, Bortoleto. 10th, Antonelli. Rounds like the top 10. Yeah, that was Carnage. We can now see a safety car deployed. Quick update, I have just learned a new trick with the cameras. I click their names, I see the off-board, and I click the timing sheet thing, I see the on-board. So off-board, on-board. On-board 4 times there apparently. But I think the left side is like random cameras. Mix them all, and the right side is just on-board. That is a cool trick. Oh, I would double click I cycle through the onboard cameras. Oh, that's cool. I like that. So that cycles through the onboard cameras. Oh, lap cars may overtake lap 3. There is no lap cars though. And I cycle through them all. That's pretty cool. Bortoleto's out of this race. I do not see why, but he is out of this race, it looks like. He's not on this, he's not on the track. He's retired somewhere, I think. I think he had crash, mechanical failure, I don't know. I don't think I ever will know, unfortunately. The safety car is ending on lap 3 out of 14. This is going to be interesting because will the conditions dry out? There's a dry line on track now. We see that. There's a dry line. So I'm questioning, will we potentially see dry intermediate tyres in the near future. Will the rain soon stop? But we go green flag now. Gasly leads from Perez from Behrman into turn 1 though, as we see Behrman actually quite close to Perez there, but so is Perez on Gasly. In fact, Perez is all over Gasly, on the outside of Gasly. He's now on the inside of Gasly. He's on the grass there potentially. He's now looking on the outside of Gasly. He's got more battery power. We see Albon and Giovinazzi going side by side as well. But Perez on Gasly side by side. Perez ahead of Gasly and retakes the race lead as he's the fastest sector 1. It seems like Giovinazzi stayed ahead of Albon, but Gasly is behind Perez and has now got Behrman. Oh, Dunn's got a 5-second penalty. The virtual safety car deployed, and Hadjar's out of a big fire there. As Hadjar is out of this race, the virtual safety car is deployed. That hairpin proven once again to be absolute trouble for the drivers. As Dunn gets a 5-second penalty. Hamilton was P22 after that safety car, and now he's up into P18. We see virtual safety car is actually ending as we go green flag here. Hayes and Hamilton side by side. Hamilton gets past Sonny Hayes as the top 3 are still close to each other going through that final chicane. And the top 4 are still close to each other, and Giovinazzi and Albon and Ocon are side by side. I'm trying to get off board there as Bottas is right there behind him, heading behind Ocon, heading through turn 1 up towards turn 2 now, through the long turn 2. Bottas is now side by side of Esteban Ocon down the back straight. Giovinazzi gets a 5-second penalty for causing a collision apparently on that back straight. I think there probably is a bit of contact and they class it as a penalty for whatever reason. But these two still side by side. Giovinazzi looks like he's side by side of Behrman and ahead of Behrman. Ocon is now behind Valtteri Bottas, or is he? It looks like Ocon's got more battery power down the straight, and that is a big messy field in the midfield here. After the exit of that hairpin, we see Norris, Sainz, and Antonelli. Well, the whole field basically. Hamilton getting involved as well. Looks like Antonelli gets a penalty. There's a big accident there. I knew there's be collisions all over the place. Antonelli is off the track. Leclerc and Alonso are in the wall. Hayes gets a 5-second penalty as he's somehow involved in this all. Hamilton up to P15 now as Perez has a 2.5-second lead. I knew something was going to go wrong. There was cars facing backwards after all. Hamilton getting very close to Antonelli. Antonelli going very slow. Is now behind Hamilton unless there's a bit of argy-bargy going on there. Down this strip. I think this is the back straight technically. As we head down them now. Why are we getting onboard cameras? It wasn't clicking the onboard button. Don't know how it all works. Still trying to figure it out. As Hayes and Dunn are going side by side as we go through that chicane. They're all right there. It is still so close, and Perez is still so fast. 5-second lead from Gasly as Stroll and Pierce get close. Stroll tucks in behind Dunn. Dunn tucks in behind Hayes. Dunn on the inside of Hayes. Dunn on the inside of Hayes. He's still not ahead of him. I think he's still side by side of him. He's ahead of him now. Stroll goes side by side of Hayes. On the inside, battery drop off there, you could hear it, you could see it done, just no power at the end of that straight. Side by side of Stroll, drops down behind Stroll potentially. Stroll and Hayes have no power. Dunn's still going so slow. Heading up into the chicane. Now, as we head into the next hairpin, this is the previous incident happened. What we're going to see into this time, they're still side by side, still clean on lap 6. As we are now going to see Alex Dunn look through the middle of the gap as we head up the field. As Ocon is ahead of Behrman. I've missed this all for you guys. I'm sorry. Perez is into the pits. Perez is pitting as Behrman and Norris go side by side. Bottas go side by side, and this is interesting. What we seeing here? What we seeing happen here? What are we seeing? Cars are stopping at the pit entrance. Was it all of them doing that? They pit for hard tires. What? They're pitting for hard tires? Why are they pitting for hard tires? Perez is outside the pits. He is not going to stay on track. It's stopped raining, but it's still quite wet out there. He's not keeping them on track. We can see Perez keeps going so slow. as a virtual safety car deployed as Alonso is out of this race. As Gasly was off the track there as well. A 5 there. As Albon's on soft tyres, he might find more grip. But the virtual safety car is out. As we see Hayes was miles faster than Perez there, so I might find that currently it's still better to be on these wet tyres. And these guys may have done it pitted too early, and I'm wondering if the VSC ends, we're going to have a majority of the lap on their green flag, and we're just going to see Russell fly away from Sergio Perez and build that gap up. We see Leclerc catch him right up on the straights. We might see Russell, Vettel, and Verstappen and Hayes playing the right strategy here. Look at the speed difference. Look at the timing. Just drop for Perez on Russell. You have to hope it doesn't just goes dry on this lap. As Leclerc takes 5th place. Russell and Vettel get very close as Vettel takes the lead of the Grand Prix off George Russell. Is he the favourite to win this race? As George Russell is now getting back in this slipstream, down this back straight, up into the final 3 corners. Verstappen right there. Russell and Vettel side by side. Russell slots in behind Sebastian Vettel. 21 seconds to Sergio Perez, and they do not pit, but Vettel does. Vettel and Verstappen do. As Hayes pit, we're going to take a while to see where he pits. And we're going to be watching Vettel and Verstappen see where they exit. Hayes does not pit. Does Clark potentially pit here? No, he does not pit. Now let's go look at Vettel and Verstappen. Where are they exiting compared to Sergio Perez? Miles ahead. The track looks a bit drier than it was a lap ago, so that might just prove a bit interesting to see. There's a 26-second gap to P1 though. That's huge. They must have a very slow pit stop. Gasly into pits for a second time. Did they realise it's not time for hard tyres? He does go for soft tyres actually. That's interesting. A couple of laps ago, Gasly was leading the Grand Prix, and now he's down P20. And Vettel is not really gaining time on Russell, so I wonder if it's still faster to be on wet tyres. Oh, Russell sets a fast sector too. Yes, if this is interesting, is Verstappen is on soft tyres compared to Vettel's medium tyres, so Verstappen will be all over Sebastian Vettel. But we're going to head down and look at Ocon and Bottas. They're still fighting, and so is Hulkenberg and Sainz. As Hamilton is trying to make his way up through the field. He's up the Behrman now, because they're on hard tyres and it's wet. So they're going to struggle naturally, aren't they? As we're going to see Hamilton look on the inside, not get it, but Verstappen, Borletto there, as Verstappen, Vettel there, as Russell does pit. He lost a bit of time to Perez in the end. He lost loads of time at the end there. I still think he'll exit in the lead by an absolute mile. He will. He does exit in the lead by a mile, so that is going to prove very interesting. As we see Vettel re-overtake Max Verstappen. Oh, stay ahead of Verstappen. Verstappen's on the outside of him there. Leclerc and Hayes also pit, as Vettel's in 2nd place, Perez in hard tyres in 4th place, and Verstappen in soft tyres in 3rd place. Lap 9 out of 14 has got an 10-second gap to George Russell, so that makes it interesting. Bottas gets another 5-second penalty for causing a collision. Sainz and Hulkenberg side by side now down that long, endless straight. Vettel seems to get ahead of Verstappen gets ahead of Vettel, it looks like, as Giovinazzi is ahead of Ocon, Bottas ahead of Hulkenberg, and Sainz still side by side of Hulkenberg, slots in behind him now. As we see, go back to Vettel and Verstappen, they're still side by side. Perez right behind him. Perez seems like he could really get a podium this race. Here we are now. Vettel on the inside to Max Verstappen, on the outside of Verstappen, sorry. And he's still going to stay behind him. Russell started in the back row of the grids and is up fighting for P1 to win this race, it looks like. As Vettel is now going to be looking at Perez potentially, maybe not. Perez on Verstappen as he got past Vettel, and he's now on Verstappen down into the hairpin, side by side. It's Max Verstappen. Oh, there's contact! There was contact there, we saw that. And that's going to give Gasly the fastest lap of the race, by the way. There's many drivers towards the back pit, including Antonelli, Hulkenberg, Albon, and Bottas. They're all in the pits. As Perez is now on the back foot to Sebastian Vettel after the hairpin. Vettel on the inside, Vettel on the it's ahead as lap 10 out of 14. The 10-second gap to P1 of George Russell. Perez back on the attack. Oh, Sebastian Vettel. Here he is now on the outside of the chicane. Will he get ahead of him by the chicane? Yes, he will. He's now going to try to fight back to Verstappen on this next lap. Giovinazzi's out of the race. Is a virtual safety car deployed? Virtual safety car is deployed. And it's been promoted to a full core safety car, as that will mean Verstappen is into the pits. This full core safety car is out on lap 11 out of 14. Verstappen will probably be pitting for soft tyres here. And keep in mind, I will, if it does go to the last lap, I will make it come in itself. I'm reintroducing that rule. I didn't do it the last two races, I'm pretty sure, but I'll reintroduce it for this race. Hamilton's also in the pits, by the way, he for soft tyres. So is Carlos Sainz and Joshua Pierce. George Russell pits for medium tyres out of all tyres. So that makes it a bit interesting. He's pitting for medium tyres. Sebastian Vettel and Charles Leclerc, I think, also pit. Does Hayes potentially pit? He's the next one to come around. No, but Verstappen's already pitted in the safety car, so he won't. Perez did not pit, which makes it interesting. By the way, the safety car will be in this lap. I'm doing that myself. So it comes in this lap and we'll get a couple laps of racing. I do find it interesting that Perez chose not to pit. Here we go once again now. It's under green flag conditions. Vettel seems to have gotten a good reaction from the safety car coming in. Verstappen being caught napping potentially into turn 1. As Vettel on the inside of Verstappen, we see on the outside of Verstappen through turn 2, a bit of contact again. Verstappen squeezing him out. Leclerc nearly going into the back of Vettel. That was very aggressive from Max Verstappen. Perez is all over George Russell. Perez looks like he's going to be looking at the outside into the hairpin on George Russell. That's kind of unexpected. Did not expect that for the race lead. Now, Perez and Russell side by side. Russell drops behind Perez and Harris the race leads. Verstappen and Hayes going side by side. It looks like 4P3. No, here goes Russell back on the outside or inside for the chicane. Sergio Perez. Russell retakes the race lead. Verstappen in third place there. Leclerc and Hayes side by side for P4. Verstappen got very argy-bargy with Vettel at the restart and cost Vettel met several places as Vettel is now going on the attack once again. Oh, that was getting close there. He backed out from it. Ocon and Albon going side by side. Look at this mid-pack here. Mental. Perez goes back up close to Russell. Perez is ahead of George Russell back into the race lead. But Russell's back on the inside into the corners now. Russell is ahead and Perez is down behind. Max Verstappen as we enter the last lap of the race. Verstappen takes second place. Antonelli gets a 5-second penalty. There's so much carnage down there at the back. But we're looking up at the front here for the battle at the front. Perez now being attacked by Charles Leclerc on this last lap. Charles Leclerc, the yellow flag, sector 3, as somebody's off in the background. Yes, there is, and it's Lance Stroll, I think. No, it's Kimi Antonelli. No, it's Joshua Pierce, who's into the wall, out of this race. Fire. Perez is behind Max Verstappen, which is costing him quite a bit, but they're on the yellow flags for some reason. And now Charles Leclerc is going to have the inside line into the hairpin. No, Verstappen is going to be potentially trying to catch up to George Russell here. I'm not going to lie, Perez being barged down into third place. Vettel's got a 5-second penalty for whatever reason. I find that we literally saw it happen. I don't think there was any contact there at all. Perez now drops down to P5. He has not scored a point in the season whatsoever. And he's now up into he's now dropped down to P5. I'm questioning why Porsche didn't pit him, but I guess they technically didn't know they were going to be fighting up here. He's now behind Sebastian Vettel. Vettel's got a 5-second penalty, remember, so Perez is currently in the podium position. George Russell looks like he's going to be around the final corner second, though he's out of flag sector 2. Russell is going to win the race. Lance Stroll is out of this race. We can't tell you why. I think he's in the wall. George Russell wins the Grand Prix. Yellow flag sector 2 and 3. That puts a stalemate to all racing at the end of the race. Sergio Perez will finish on the podium, as Vettel will have a 5-second penalty, demoting him from the podium, as Lewis Hamilton recovered to P9 after being last place at the end of lap 1. Sergio Perez gets Cadillac's first podium. Russell wins it from Verstappen and Perez behind him. Leclerc 4th, Hayes 5th, 6th Albon, Vettel 7th, 8th Berman, 9th Hamilton, 10th Norris, 11th Sainz, 12th Hulkenberg, last race winner. Dunn, Ocon, Bottas, Gasly, Antonelli. And the retirees are Lance Stroll, Joshua Pierce, Antonio Giovinazzi, Fernando Alonso, and Isaac Hadjar, Gabriel Bortoleto, and Oscar Piastri. The driver standings: Lewis Hamilton 82 points, Lando Norris 74 points, Max Verstappen 74 points, George Russell 71 points, Charles Leclerc 69 points, Esteban Ocon 65 points, Alex Dunn 60 points, Nico Hulkenberg 52 points. The top 8 separated by 30 points. And then we get to Giovinazzi and Bortoleto both on 45, Behrman on 11, Piastri on 40, Behrman on 11, no, Behrman on 43, Piastri on 41, Antonelli on 35, Vettel on 26, Pierce 19, Bottas, Hayes both on 18, Gasly on 16, this is a point for him. Perez scores his first points of the season with a podium, puts him from P24 in the championship up to P19. He's on 15 points. Isaac Hadjar is a point for him so far this season, P20, 12 points. Alex Albon 11 points, Carlos Sainz 6 points, Lance Stroll 6 points, Fernando Alonso 6 points. So the next race is in Monaco, as we see Ferrari lead the constructors 151, McLaren 115, Haas 108, Mercedes 106, Audi 97, Red Bull 86, Braun 76, Porsche 71, Apex 37, 33 Cadillac, 17 Williams, and 12 Aston. Make sure to like button and the subscribe button. Next race in Monaco before we head to Tuscany. By the way, Tuscany was my most, season 2 was the most viewed video I ever had, 121 views. So I'm excited for that one, see if it can do something similar. Then we go to Germany, United Kingdom, Europe, Madrid, Portugal, South Africa, and Las Vegas. Guys, make sure to hit the like button and the subscribe button. Until next time, goodbye.